welcome to Crochet Corner here on C is for Crone. I am Ray and I am the crone in C is for Crone. Welcome to June, and on this gray day, you can't see out my windows, but on this gray day where it's raining, June 6th, I thought it'd be a great day to do the videos to start the Summer Crochet Project. I've been outside the last week dealing with gardening, so not a lot of crocheting going. Very tired afterwards. Anyways, the Summer Crochet Project is the Granny Square Sampler Afghan. Reading my notes. The first take of this just didn't go well. So anyways, on this gray day, this is what we're doing. I'm introducing, this is the introduction to that project. I learned something with the last Granny Square video that I really need to keep things a little bit shorter. So I'm going to start with an introduction and show you what's going on with the project and which squares are for June, and what items you need, what yarn I'm using, and then the next video will be the first Granny Square, and a little bit of chit chat on it, but I'm going to try to keep it more tutorial and less chit chatty, because it took forever to get that hour-long video from being recorded to fully onto YouTube. Like it was an entire evening. So anyways, what are the squares for the Granny Square Samplers Afghan? We're going to start simply with a Granny Square. That's where I started. That's how I learned to crochet. That's the first ever thing my mom taught me how to do with crochet, and she was the one who taught me how to crochet. It's a great beginner's square, and so I thought I'd start there. Start at the beginning, start in this place. And as we're going through, if you find, just hang in there. You don't want to make granny squares, or you don't want to make one, just hang in there and maybe make a whole Afghan or whatever out of any one of the 6. There are 6 squares altogether. I'm going to be making mine 6 by 6. I don't need anything big. It will be going in the Crone cottage. As when I get it finished in there, I will be turning the old camper into a me space to do things. Okay, and so the second square that we will be doing, and all squares are roughly 10 inches, and potentially can be sized up smaller or bigger as you want. This one is Rose's Springtime Rose Granny Square, and it's dedicated to Rose of Rose Likes Crochet. She's very inspiring to me, so I made it. And as you can see, there's a flower in the middle of the Granny Square, and I will be showing you how to turn a 5-petaled flower into a 4-cornered square. So the Granny Square and Rose's Square will be the June square. And then in July, we have what I'm calling the Lacy Granny Square, and the Mitered Granny Square, and then in August we have, I think it's called the Hawaiian Pineapple Square, or Pineapple Square, for that, and I'll be showing how to make these puff stitches. And then finally this sort of goofy looking square here to see, is a front post, back post ridged square. So it's roughly it's the same on both sides. And so that'll be the August square. And we're teaching you how to do front post, back post with that one. And then in September, that's when we will be sewing them all together. I have never in my entire life sewn granny squares together, so this ought to be interesting for me to do. So I'm learning new stuff as I go along, and how to create patterns and how to do different stitches and different things with my crochet, and expanding my crochet horizons. None of these squares were extremely hard to do, and so therefore I'm hoping they'll be easy to follow. So as I said, the whole Afghan will be 6 across by 6 down. I do believe I just kind of want a square for myself. The two colors on this, the way I'm doing it, out here we'll hold up the Granny Square because it shows a little bit better here. In the Granny Square here, I was using Red Heart Comfort, not the softest yarn in the world, but I bought a whole bunch of these jumbo balls with almost 1,800 yards in them. And so this one, the whitish color there, that's a cream or something like that. I will get my papers, the little sleeve things, and give the yardage and the stuff to go with that. And this one's called Oatmeal, and you cannot see it on camera. No, you can't see it on camera at all. But this one was interesting because I thought this was a gray. It was completely gray. I like gray. And it's not. The Oatmeal has, depending on how the light catches it, little blue splotches, very pale, very almost not there, which is why you can't see it on the camera. And the same with red. It has blue and red in it. So it's kind of rather interesting. So I'll be using the cream for the border and Oatmeal for the square, for my squares. And also that gray, because I just want to have a little bit of a mix up with the colors. I don't want it to be totally Oatmeal. But I had a thought going into this project and decided that do this with whatever yarn you want to do it with. If you use a smaller yarn, you're going to possibly need more yarn. You can make this as big as you want or as small as you want, or you can take one of the squares and make it into an entire Afghan baby blanket, whatever your heart desires. So, and since mine was a number 4 and a heavier number 4 yarn, it's not that much heavier than any of the other number 4 yarns, but the spin of it, the weave of it, or whatever you would call it, it's just heavy. It's a heavy feeling number 4. So and that's the cream. So I've been using a 6mm J hook for that. So you need the corresponding crochet hook for your squares. If you're going to make the 10-inch squares or whatever size you decide you want, tape measure. You'll need a tape measure. So this is the equipment that you will need to go with besides your yarn. I do suggest on the yarn front, if you are a newbie, if you have never crocheted before and you stumbled upon this and you want to learn to crochet, do not get a fuzzy yarn. Some of them are really, really beautiful, but it's not the greatest way to learn how to crochet. If you make a mistake, really super fuzzy yarn will catch on itself. Regular yarns, if you use them over and over, they start to fuzz up and then they will catch on themselves. But these regular yarns, smooth yarns like Red Heart Super Saver, Bernat Premium, Caron, Simply Soft, what is, oh, they have a cotton yarn, very, very soft. Go with a smoother feeling yarn that doesn't have a lot of fuzz to it. Because yes, if you do have to frog at any point with these, and as I was learning how to do them, other than the Granny Square, you will, there's the potential for making mistakes, which is okay. It is okay to frog. No need, there's no need to be perfect with anything, and no need for massive amounts of frustration if you can avoid it. And fuzzy yarn will be terribly frustrating and possibly put you off crochet. Crochet is so simple and elegant and lovely. So we have the tools. You'll need your hook. Tape measure helps. Potentially pen and paper for keeping track of notes from the video. A pair of scissors. For Rose's square, you will need some kind of stitch marker. I often use twist ties, but there's several places, several people on that crochet also make stitch markers. Be interesting in the comments if people could say what they use. A lot of people use yarn, little bits of yarn, scrap yarn. Rose Likes Crochet has an Etsy shop, and she works with her customers to customize the stitch markers. The other thing you will need is a, can you see that? There we go, is a yarn needle. I suggest a blunted end one. So, whoops, so you don't stab yourself with it. The other thing that's helpful, and potentially, is just get an old container. You can see I have several things in it. This is what I keep my this lock and lock container. I had a different container, but it broke. Some kind of a container to keep your needles and scissors, excuse me, and things in, to help stay organized. Some kind of a bag or bin or something to keep your projects in as you go. Just to keep things organized. It potentially helps to keep cats out of your projects. I have 2 new kitties learning that Mommy's yarn is Mommy's yarn and not their toy. So, just in recap, the first square for June will be my starting point, the Granny Square. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments, because I may have left something out in the planning. And I hope that over the summer, which I'm counting as June, July, August, and September, you enjoy doing the sampler. And just remember, have fun with it. This is supposed to be a fun project. So, and for me, it's something to go in my bigger project, because I definitely need some me space, some she space to do recording, so I don't always have cats fighting with various ages. That's what's happening. Anyways, so welcome to the Summer Crochet Project, the Granny Square Sampler Afghan. I hope you enjoy, and I look forward to teaching how to do it. crochet with you later.